just because we know those little point A to point B things does not mean, and it's easy to us, does not mean that somebody else doesn't value that point A to point B and isn't willing to pay you a pretty penny for you to break down that point A to point B. And I say that because a lot of us sometimes think we need to know point A to Z. But even when you're learning the alphabet, you're only learning it letter by letter. So it's the exact same thing with people. So whatever your business is, as long as you're a couple steps ahead, there are people who are willing to pay you for your step 1 and step 2. Big moves in the building.
Yo, what up, bro? What's good?
Big moves in the building. What to do, sir?
Chilling, man. How you?
Straight chilling, sir. Straight chilling. How you doing? You good? How you living?
I'm living, man. It's always something to do, right?
That's what we like to hear, my man. That's what we like to hear. Yo, shout out to Big Moves for making this happen. We spoke yesterday. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's make it happen. And here we are today.
Yeah, let's get it, man. Whenever there's opportunity to speak and add value, I'm always here.
Sweet, man. Sweet. That's cool. Let me just put this in. Got a few people jumping on as well. So I'll go wait for a few people to jump in. How long do we have you for?
I got a good 45 to an hour for you, man. But, you know, let's go. Let's see where it goes.
All right, sweet. All right, let's wait for a few more people to jump right in. Let me pin this as well. Pin comments. Sweet, cool. How's your day been, dude?
My day's been all right. Today was interesting. So, I saw an ad for this product on Amazon, right? And it's a I don't want to say too much about it till it's done because I want everybody to see what I'm doing. But it's this product I saw on Amazon. I thought it was really interesting, and as soon as I saw it, I had the spark in my head like I could do that better. So went to Home Depot, the blueprints, took the measurements. You know what I mean? And today was the beginning of the assembly process. Right, finished cutting all the pieces, got everything into the parts. Now I got to put the parts together. So that's what today was. Today was assembly day. And then there's always, you know, content being edited. There's always some stuff for some clients to be worked on. So there's always hours spent in front of the computer no matter what.
That's what's up. So I know this is like a top secret operation, but can we ask, is this in the podcaster space, or is this product, can you tell us?
So, all right. So it's not specifically for podcasters, but it is very beneficial to creative entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Creativepreneurs. Yeah. If you work in podcasting, if you're a content creator, if you curate content for whatever it is you do, like original content, you know, webinars, whatever, it's beneficial to that. And I'm not even like necessarily going to sell it. You know what I mean? But I don't want to, you know what I mean? It's one of those things I want to show people the completed project. So I'm not really speaking too much on it. There's a very limited number of people who know what's going on here.
It's very limited. Like I said, I know it's top secret because even I don't know what this is, but
I mean,
you know,
ideally this time next week, I will have already put the content out as to what it is. Like y'all will know.
You know, when Dave always goes on his podcast, right? When he goes, give us something, leave us with something. So 5 years from now, we can look back and be like,
yeah. 5
so
days
with yours,
now.
it'll be like, yo, in a week from now, you're going to have something for us to look back and be like, yo, he said he was going to do that. He did it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, hey, you know what? I'll make sure I be on the watch out. I'll keep my eyes out, you know, and as soon as I see, I'm like,
bro, it's different. It's different. I have never seen anybody do anything like this. Like the Amazon joint that I saw was the first time I ever saw anything like that. And I mean, I saw the price tag. I was like, I'll pay that. Like, it's not that expensive. I'm willing to spend that. But looking at what it was, looking at the comments and some of the product reviews, it's like, this isn't gonna fit my needs perfectly. I'm gonna have to customize it to make it right. So if I'm going to spend X and then still do alterations to something that's supposed to be a finished product, why not just make it from scratch? Gotcha. Mathematically, it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not more money to just buy the parts and make it myself. So that's what I decided to do.
Gotcha.
But it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
All right. Well, do you know what? We will be waiting for you to drop this. We'll be waiting for you to drop this. I know I'm going to be interested because, like you said, it's going to help anyone who is a creative or a creative entrepreneur. So let's get it.
Move, if you're sharing your space with other space, whether it's your home, a co-working space, you're a traveler and you got to curate on the move, keep watching.
All right, cool. So we could curate on the move and collect that content because it's all about the content. That's what it's all about, It's all about the content. Shout out to the peeps jumping in. I see Jonathan Jones. I see Akila. I see Antoine. I see Javante, Wanika. Yo, a bunch of peeps are coming. Hannah Ferran, Mel's Angel, Atlas the Great, Lo Martinez. Shout out to everyone who's in here. Ma'am, the homie Big Moves. Erica T's in here now. Ma'am, my homie Big Moves. We're about to talk about, using your voice to make those big moves.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So, first of all, first things first, introduce yourself.
Sure. So I am Big Moves. I am a podcast producer, podcast host. I help dreams become reality through the art of podcasting.
Help dreams become reality through the art of podcasting. Okay. I like that. So that is what is it that you do?
Yeah, if you put me on the elevator speech, mic in my face, I got 5 seconds. That's what I got. I think it covers it. You know what I mean?
All right, sweet. So hit me. Why did you get into podcasting?
Why did I get into podcasting? I kind of stumbled into
what was your background even before you got into podcasting?
Got you. So I'm an audio engineer, and like a lot of audio engineers, especially in the Black community, I started off in the church. Right, I was the sound guy. I was the apprentice to the sound guy, and then I think I was 16 years old. He handed the reins over to me, like, "Yo, you got it. Handle your business." And so since then, I've been a full-time engineer in one form or another. I went to school, got my degree in audio engineering, a bachelor's degree in audio recording technology. I've worked on lots of different rap projects, lots of different rock projects. Some artists like Tommy Truths, Jack Swagger, now known as Jack Martinez. I've worked on, I'm currently a producer for podcasts, including the Ugly Truth podcast, Movement Builders podcast.
I saw that.
Devontae in the building.
I saw that. And side piece.
Yeah, I've done some one-offs for podcasts like the Business Church podcast, Side Piece season. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been in the digital editing space since I was 12. I've been engineering with audio since then. I picked up film in high school, which it's about to be 16 years ago. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while.
You've been doing it for a minute, but I want to go back to something you said. You said that at 16, the audio engineer said, "Yo, you got this." So that means how long have you been doing it before that? Because I feel like you've been doing it probably maybe from like 13, 14.
Yeah, it was probably 4 or 5 years. Somewhere around 7th grade, so that's 11, 12 years old, is when I first started sitting back there with him, and he's telling me like, this switch does this thing does that, this is how this works. You know what I mean? And he was literally just teaching me his procedure, his, what we would call today his SOP.
Yeah, his blueprint.
Right. And so that kind of gave me my base for realizing I like this. This is cool. This is fun. And then that made me want to pursue that as a career path. And that's what led me to going to get my degree in it. In high school, we didn't have an audio program. So I was a theater kid. I did a lot of tech theater, did a lot of acting and singing because that's what you had to do if you were in the theater program. And I was also in the film program, which is where I picked up the video editing.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I won Best Nonfiction Film 2 years in a row at my high school film festival. Little pat on the back. I earned that. I worked hard for that.
I was about to say, my man getting awards already, getting Oscars and stuff already. Okay.
We're not at the Oscars yet. You know what I mean? It'd be cool, but it's not on my goals list, but I wouldn't be mad. If God pushed me in that direction, I'll let him take me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up, my man. That's what's up. Sweet. So you were getting those awards early. You got it. The thing I loved about that is basically, it's a case of you had someone who was ahead of you, who actually knew the game. You saw what he or she was doing, and then they taught you the blueprint for you to take over the baton, and you stepped in and you continue doing that. That right there is when we don't know what to do, but we see someone doing it, and then they become our mentor or our coach, right? We learn from them, and then we can either stay at the level that they're at or surpass them and take the progress forward that way. So I love that, because that's what happened right there.
And it's crazy because the whole time, basically from day one to when he started stepping back, he's like, I'm only doing this to teach you how to do it. I was like, wait, what? I don't even know if I want to do this. He's like, no, you got this. Like, I can see it in you, brother. Like, you gonna get it. Like, you got it. I'm like, all right, if you say so. And then one day he's just like, here you go. He's like, I'm not coming in today. You got it. You know what to do. Just wait, what? Like, no, you got it. You be all right. And I was, sweet. But.
And that was in church, and you were just, because the thing, like, I can imagine, like, a lot of us actually, like, had our, should we say, our first shot of showbiz in church, like, singing, rapping, on the drums, on the piano, on the guitar, like, it was church hooked us up. One of my boys is in here, and I think he's still on here. O2, he's big on that. Like, I think he was singing in church or something as well, playing guitar.
Word.
Anyways,
see, that's what did me in. I couldn't sing. I'm a terrible singer. Like, now as an adult, because of my ear experience, I know what range I can touch, but I can't sing. I'm not a singer. So I would try to do the chorus thing, and I was trash, and the kids used to clown me because, like, they wouldn't make fun of me, but it was like, well, you can't really sing like we can sing, so, like, but I found my niche when it was like, y'all can sing all y'all want, they can't hear you without me.
Let them know.
And it became a relationship. Like, I wasn't the DJ, but I was just as important as the DJ at a party.
Gotcha. That is true, because without the audio, ain't nobody hearing anything.
Yeah, and we were a big congregation, so it was like, you could sing as loud as you wanted to, but there was gonna be folks who couldn't hear you without that microphone.
100%.
Be nice to the sound guy.
always be nice to the sound guy.
I want to talk about gatekeepers and who to tap in with. If you working with a microphone, if you getting out there, whatever, make friends with the sound guy, because he know everybody else.
See that's a hack right there. There. So if anyone is going to, like, a superstar, like if you're going to a Drake concert, just speak to the sound guy. He will get you backstage and everything. Be friends with him, befriend him, and he will hook you up. Is that what you're saying? Is that the advice you're giving us?
Yes, but here's the basic caveat. Here's the basic caveat with that. If that's what you want, and we talk a high level access, you got to be a real friend. You can't just get close to him to try, like, because we only get 5 tickets. And one of them is for our significant other, if that's the artist they're interested in, and one of their friends. So we already down to 3. Like, you really think I'm just going to give you one of these tickets? Like, nah. That's going to my partners, the people I want to hang out with after the show.
Gotcha.
So that's what you want. Yeah, make friends with the sound guy, but you actually have to be friends with that guy.
You got to be a real friend. Can't just be a friend when Drake's in town.
Yeah. You might get a discount. Like, he might be able to hook you up. Like, I'll get you 10% off. I mean, I'll get you 30% off or something, but that's where you really want to hack to get into the concerts. I got you.
Do you know what the funny thing? Even though that's not, but no, spill the beans. Let's hear it. How do we get into concerts?
Right. So in your city, your major area wherever you live, if you're in Jersey, that means New York or Philly, right? Just for example, look up either rigging laborers, concert laborers, or roadies, ROADEE, right? You can look that up. You can Google it. You can go to any major event-based website. So, like New York, Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center, PNC Bank Art Center, so on, right? Find one of those places, look up those types of jobs. They'll usually post them during concert season, which is when the weather gets warm. So wherever you live, for me, that's late May to mid-September, October. That's when that stuff comes out. They're going to hire at the beginning of that season, right? Just like any other summer job. Find those jobs, take them. All you got to do is carry boxes, bro. Don't be afraid to carry boxes, and you'll get a free ticket to the show.
Sweet. Okay. Piece of value right there, folks.
And if you do good after you've done that a few times, right? Like the company knows they can work with you. It's like, oh, he's gonna show up, he's gonna handle his business, she's gonna show up, she's gonna handle the business, they're not gonna complain, they're gonna get it done. They'll hook you up with more tickets if you ask for them. You know what I mean? Like you develop a relationship and it's like, hey boss, like my wife loves Drake. You think I could get 2 tickets tonight? Whatever. Hey, they gotta be here by 6, okay? All right, bye.
Let me ask a question. Can we automate that? Can I pay a VA to carry the boxes instead, and then I get the tickets?
I suppose so. Some places really do go by ID because, like, you're the employee, you're in the system.
True that.
Or you're a part of their network, so they know who you are. But not every place is like that. And if that's the route you're going, go to TaskRabbit, bro. Pay somebody to stand in line for you and just buy your ticket.
Anyways, enough of that. That wasn't what we came here for, guys. That's not what we came here for. But we just wanted a little piece of that sauce there. But thank you for that. Little masterclass. Little masterclass. So all right, cool. So we got to the part where you were doing it in church, you went to school, you got your masters and everything. What happened after that?
So after that, I did the same thing that every college graduate does with a dedicated degree. I got a regular job in corporate. I worked retail for last 10 years, off and on, different locations. I've worked in management, worked in middle management, upper management, human resources, loss prevention, everywhere that everyone can work in corporate retail management system, I've touched it. I never stopped doing audio, but I got bills to pay. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Now, I'm 32 years old. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. We got a house. We got 2 cars. We got things to do. So we have money that we need to spend.
Got life.
Yeah. And for a long time, my art just wasn't successful enough. It wasn't the right time. You know what I mean? And that's like you asked, where did podcasting come from? It was about the timing and alignment. I've had the skill set. But
gotcha.
the profitable moment, the supply I had, the demand just started happening in the last 3 years. The podcast boom started 2018, and that's when my phone started right now.
I see. So 2018 was kind of when things started popping off.
That's when things started turning in my direction. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. It wasn't just the artist friends I know or having connections or going to the club and shaking like the old A&R scale of the late 90s and the 20 teens. Like it ain't like that no more. Now it's like, say podcast, someone's gonna turn around.
I see. And that brings us to the whole point of this, like the importance of having a podcast. But a question I also have, like, I think it's similar with you guys over there, but like growing up, obviously, there was the whole thing of you wanted to be a rapper, you wanted to rap, you wanted to get on stage and do all that, like through our teen years, right? But then we also had the homies who were serious on Fruity Loops. I don't know, did you guys have Fruity Loops?
Yeah, we had Fruity Loops. We had we had Fruity Loops. We had Ghostwriter. We had Audio X. And then, I mean, if you knew your stuff or you was connected to somebody, you knew what Pro Tools was.
Yeah. I heard of Pro Tools, but I was never my brother is. So my brother, he's a dope artist. Like he sings and he's crazy when it comes to making beats and all of that sort of stuff. I was good with the words and the lyrics. That was my thing in music.
You was the writer. You had the composition notebook.
Exactly. So I could write and I could perform, right? So I could rap and all of that. But I never took it seriously. Like this is what I wanted to do. Was Lil Bro, he's in that field, he's in that game, and he's serious. So it's got a bunch of jams on Spotify and everything. If anyone wants to go check it out, to buy Afraid. Now, going back to that era or that period, knowing what you know now, would you go back there and say, you know what, I could do this and become either a top DJ or a producer for whoever?
I don't. If I could go back, the only thing I would tell myself different is to not say no to the things that I said no to. There was some opportunities I was like, I don't want to do that because it didn't sound interesting enough to me. You know what I mean? I had those rose-colored glasses about the music industry. She's like, nah, I want to get invited to go to the Def Jam studio. Totally ignoring the fact that the place that I was invited to, these guys are a satellite office for Def Jam. So, you know what I mean? that kind of stuff. There was some things that I turned my nose up at because I was too arrogant to understand that there was something to learn there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's about that timing. I was not ready to learn that.
If you're a business owner, you may or may not already have your online presence created. There are some mistakes that can be made, and I don't want you to be making them when you're starting your business online. If you already have your online presence, one mistake you could be making is not actually collecting your leads via your website. This is not the same as general inquiries. A lead is me raising my hand and saying, I'm interested in your particular service. A general inquiry could be something like me asking you, hey, what year did you start your business? The two are not the same. So I've put together an easily digestible checklist of the 5 biggest mistakes you could make online and how to avoid them. It's called the Secret Web Design Checklist. Also, I've got a book and it's called Starting Your Online Business the Right Way. Just go to oyemade.com/performance. That's oyemade.com/performance. And you see the options for the Secret Web Design Checklist and the book to starting your online business the right way. Hope you enjoy those. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Gotcha. Would you say it was that, or would you say it was a lack of experience of knowing that, oh, actually this path could lead you to something else? Was it a case of not seeing the bigger picture?
No, it really just wasn't. I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. Like there were many moments that because it didn't come off as a lucrative pitch to me. It wasn't, you need to intern here because blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we got a spot. We need a kid who knows how to work this thing and do this thing. You a kid who knows how to work this thing and do this thing. Cool, show up. And there were times where I chose not to because that's all it sounded like to me. You know.
Yeah.
I was told go to the next checkpoint, but I said, but I want to go up to the mountain. They said, yeah, cool, go to the next checkpoint. I was like, no, the mountain. The mountain.
I see. Well, here we are now.
Absolutely.
So let's go back to 2018. Like I always like people's backstories and understanding how they got to where they are, because that's really what the show is about. It's basically about you going from the underdog to the hero in your own story. That's why it's called Trust Thyself. And going back to your 2018, so at this point, people are hitting you up, yo, big moves, you know, this podcasting thing. What is there something you can do? What happens now?
The phone calls that I was getting was, yo, bro, I was listening to this podcast and I want to make a podcast like that. What do I need to get? What do I need to have in order to do that?
Let's go. Let's grab our notes.
And, you know, for a while, I was confused as to why people were asking me. It's like, bro, Google it. Like, because it was people I went to school with. It was people who sat in the same class I sat in class. Like, what? Mbox. Bluetooth, 2 plugs, XLR cable, quarter inch, like, you know, like for me, because it was a fluent language, it didn't make sense when someone was asking me for a translation. So I would refer people to the website. You know, I would say, go to sweetwater.com, get yourself an interface, get yourself a microphone, get yourself some cables. And the reason I was doing it that way is because Sweetwater has their own experts. As soon as you start searching, you remember how Microsoft Word used to have a little paperclip?
Mm-hmm.
Sweetwater has that, but the paperclip is actually somebody.
Gotcha.
And they're like, what are you shopping for? You know, send us your email, what's your phone number? And then they're actually going to call you and it's like, hey, I'm Carson. Carson's my guy. Hey, I'm Carson. What are you looking to buy today? Right? And I'm like, I want to start a podcast. Right? They were doing the coaching, but it's a sales call for them, you know?
Yeah.
But for them, it's all about equipment. We're going to give you the crap you say you want to buy.
Gotcha.
No shade on Sweetwater. Sweetwater is the jam. Still definitely my recommendation for all online purchases. No shade towards any black businesses. I've been working with Sweetwater since 2008. So
disclaimer.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other black businesses out there, like DMVcomputerman.com. That man will fix your computer. That man will sell you a quality computer at discounted pricing. He refurbishes Macs. He fixes phones. Like, it's not your average fix a phone location. You know what I mean? DMVcomputerman.com as a black-owned business in the DMV area. He was a guest on the.uglytruth podcast. You should check that out at the.uglytruthpodcast.com. I'm gonna get all my shameless plugs in here. Y'all can't stop.
And I was just about to say, like, a lot of people are getting plugged now in this show. DMV, I got my homegirl Kels being plugged in there. I mean, it's all good, but I might start saying, hey, if you're getting your commercials in, we got to send you a check. You know, you got to send us a check. Actually, we're gonna send you the invoice.
That's the way it works for me. It's like I'm only saying the names of places that I patronize or getting paid to say. Like,
that's what's
if
up.
I worked with you, there's a reason for me to send business your way because I want you to send business my way. That's how networking really works, right?
True that.
We did something. There's a reason why I want to say your name, just like there's be a reason why you want to say mine. Stop asking me to do it for free. You do something for me, I'm gonna do something for you.
That's that value exchange. That's what's up. That's that value exchange. Shout out to Mike here in the building and everyone else who's in here. You're rocking with us. This is myself and the homie Big Moves. We're talking about the gift of podcasting and why it's an asset to your business. So please continue, sir.
So 2018, you thought I lost my train of thought.
No. You know, the funny thing is, as we're mentioning these names, they're jumping in because Kelly Kels has just jumped in here now. She could hear us talking about the ugly truth, and she just jumped in. It's like, yo, let me see what's going on in here. But anyway, back to 2018, sir. Please continue.
No doubt. So 2018, I started getting phone calls and text messages. Yo, you know, audio stuff. How do I do this? What's missing? What do I need to buy? And I answered the question for them. You know, go buy this, go buy that. Fast forward to the pandemic, right? That's when everything changed for everybody.
Yeah.
I started seeing the influx of podcasting, like the way that everybody's like, yo, I need to buy a mic, and I'm seeing people just buy crap and not know what to do with it. So I started sending DMs to people privately, like, yo, do this. You bought this? Cool, do this with it. You bought that? Do that with it. Because I would see a lot of people with, I don't know how to use this microphone. Is this the right cable? Whatever. So privately, just letting people know, like, hey, here's how you fix that. Here's how you fix that. Here's how you fix that. And then the folks who would come back and be like, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? Send me $500 of Cash App and I got you.
Oh my God.
Not knowing what I'm doing.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I was just thinking about what you said before when 2018, when people started hitting you up and like, yo, this is easy to me. Why you guys could just Google this. But don't forget, you had like 15 years before of just understanding that game, understanding that language, understanding that knowledge. It's the same thing with us. Like someone could say to me, hey, we need to get our website, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh yeah, just get a domain name. And they were like, what do you mean? You know, and in my head, I'm like, a domain name is just like, it's the name of what your website is. Like, it's easy. It's just like, nah, I have no idea. You can get your host, you could, but to me, it's just like boom, 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 boom. It rolls off the tongue because I understand it. I've been immersed in that for like since 2006. So I've been immersed in it. Same thing with you. You've been immersed in it since you were like 11. So and I say that to say this, just because we know those little point A to point B things does not mean, and it's easy to us, does not mean that somebody else doesn't value that point A to point B and isn't willing to pay you a pretty penny for you to break down that point A to point B. And I say that because a lot of us sometimes think we need to know point A to Z. But even when you're learning the alphabet, you're only learning it letter by letter. So it's the exact same thing with people. So whatever your business is, as long as you're a couple steps ahead, there are people who are willing to pay you for your step 1 and step 2, you know? But anyway, back to you, sir.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. So 2020, I'm answering people's questions on the low, right? They're not even asking me questions, but I'm seeing they're having issues. I'm like, hey, insight, right? As I'm doing that, I found Earn Your Leisure. It wasn't even as a podcast recommendation. It was
EYL
IG page recommendation that just came to me, like, hey, you should check them out. So I started following them. From them, I found Hood Estates and I'm only name dropping because it's crazy to me how I ended up in podcasting from where I was, right? So I was following EYL because of Market Mondays. So I was trying to make some money. Like how do I throw some money and get some money back? I'm working at Target. Let me go handle my business and make some extra money on the side.
Master Investor EMD.
Yeah, EYL Market Mondays. Ian Dudlap is the man. They did an episode with Hood Estates, so started following them because I thought about getting into trucking. Didn't get into trucking, but I was like Jack and I was going to, thought it was interesting. From there, took an interest in crypto. Right. Okay. Fast forward in a little bit, but took an interest in crypto as an investment. I had some Bitcoin from way back, still sitting on it because I just thought it was like random idea. My boy was a geek. He's like, "Yo, I can get you some. Give me $20. $20. Here, you have Bitcoin now." Right. So started really looking at it as an investment, as an interest. That led me to developing a certain level of knowledge and getting feedback from my inner community, my mother and her sorority and some other folks I know from growing up. Like, hey, I need to learn about crypto. I see you know some stuff. Teach me. Right. So I had a small masterclass series in relation to that. In doing that, I proved to myself that I was capable of doing a webinar. I was capable of following the email chain procedures and collecting all that data and putting out a viewable product and creating an interest and all that good stuff, right? Showing myself like, oh, so I can do some kind of influence, right, digitally. Yeah. Did not continue with crypto because I established within myself, I know a good amount about this. There's so much I still don't, but I know a truckload about this, the ears, right? Like I know crazy amounts of information about audio. Why? Because I've been doing this since I'm young. Yeah. So that led me to looking at the Social Proof podcast as something to audit, right? Listening to the banter between Dave and Joe. Yo, man, you'll fix this, you'll fix that. Yo, this is fine. And I understood, like, this is banter. He's not actually critiquing him live on air, but he's saying it for a reason. It's like, I know how to fix that. I know how to fix that. I know how to do that when that would never even happen, right? And the only reason I'm not a millionaire right now is because Dave beat me to the punch on actually having a packaged course ready to go. Because he's a marketing genius. I'm an audio genius. I suck at marketing. I own it.
I see.
Right. So that's how I actually pivoted into packaged podcasting. I have a done for you production service. I guess you could say I coach. I don't promote myself as being a coach because I don't really want to do one-on-ones like that. But anybody who's in the bubble, you're going to get this work. You know what I mean? Whatever your question is, we're going to get to the bottom of it, especially if you're paying for it.
That's what's up. So as a byproduct of your skills and your knowledge, you will get to coach people along the way regardless.
That's 100%. Whatever it is that I know about this stuff, if you want to know it, I'll teach it to you. You just got to be around. You know what I mean? Whether we sitting on a Zoom call and I'm sharing my screen or you're actually local where you can come through and actually learn some stuff hands-on. If you want to be around and you want to learn, you're going to learn. You can't sit around me and not learn. It's frustrating for me to have lazy thinkers in my presence.
That's what's up. That brings down the vibrations, and we ain't trying to do that. Positive, high vibrations only.
It's exhausting to go too low. I like my low-level content like anybody does, but like your brain got to work, bro. Your brain got to work.
That's 100%, sir. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, are you still like, okay, you said you are basically the talent, like you know your game, you know you're the talent and all that when it comes to the podcasting game, right? But in the marketing side of things, that is not your field.
That is correct.
Is that still the case, or is it improving?
So my marketing game has improved. I will not take that away from myself, right? Because improvement is improvement. I am not operating at my best in terms of marketing. You go look at my Instagram, dog.
Yeah,
I got content there. You know, there's stuff out. There's things you can see, but the consistency that we expect from social media, that's not my thing. Like it's hard for me to really be like, oh, I gotta make something. Oh, I didn't put out something today.
I gotta do a reel. Gotcha. All right,
so my clients don't have that problem. They got that work. Like, ask any of them. You know what I mean? Their stuff is ready to go.
That's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to. Like, when it comes to, like, do you find what you already said? You're able to do the stuff for other people, but when it comes to your own, you don't necessarily have the same ability when it comes to your own thing.
100%. Because my, so what I do, I've had other folks tell me is, it's art in its own right, in the same way that painting is art, right? It's just, it's a digital form. It's more technical, but it is still art. And my creative mind in regards to curating these images and creating the backdrops and making the transition actually look good, like, to you, it's just, it's a video that moves from this part of the screen to this part of the screen that got smaller. But, like, I had to tell the computer to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I had to put that in. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Because you build high performance websites, but someone who doesn't build something digitally like this isn't going to understand this part of that language. You know what I mean? And it's difficult for me to go from focusing on that and making that happen to now convincing you why you need to pay me for it.
Gotcha.
I'm one of those, like, I do the work, I let the work speak for myself. What's missing for me is two people. As far as, like, business, I can tell you straight out. It's two types of people. There's a high C that can handle all my organization, so I don't have to look at the calendar. I can be the guy who looks at the calendar. I got an appointment. Okay, cool. They're taking care of the phone calls. They're answering the emails. They're double checking the statements are taken care of, and this person got responded to, and the follow-ups, all that crap. Like, Jen, if Jen didn't have Dave, Jen would so be on my radar already. and someone else to be the marketing arm of it. I'll be the face. Sit down, record, curate this, chop the videos up and all that. But as far as that high C scheduling component, and then coming up with the themes to actually record the videos. Like, yo, bro, just tell me what you want me to record. I'll go record it. Because I have to be that person for 5 other projects at any given day. I gotta tell Kelly, yo, here's what I need you to go sit down and record today. I need you to take these 5 sentences and go make one. I need Jen, I need you to go re-record this, you know. And Nero, this is great, but do it this way. Oh wait, you gave me this part? No, I need this part. Like, I gotta be that guy. I need somebody else to just come to me like,
to be that for you.
Yeah.
And
it's fun. Put it in the schedule and do it.
It's funny, and another reason why I asked that was obviously to get your transparency, but also one of my homies is currently on the show right now as we're speaking. My homie Tafari, aka Drake. Also, another light-skinned homie such as yourself. And the thing I say about T, right? T is so dope in his knowledge and the stuff he knows. Like, he has his, like, own quote section on his podcast, right? Like, what's it called? Taft Speaks or Taft Thoughts or something like that.
Okay.
But when it comes to him marketing himself, like, that's when he goes missing. But speak to him one-on-one, and the stuff that he knows, he's like Jordan, right? But him marketing himself, it's a different story. And I say that because he's out here. There he goes, Taps Laws, right? I say that because I need him to get into that point. I need to push him to that point where he's able to create his own hype, you know, and he gets out there, because like I said, when he drops his gems, it's like, yo, I'm like, yo, T, that's dope, that's fire and stuff, you know. But it's cool.
And the thing, like, you look at my stuff, it's not like I'm not inspired. It's not like I can't, you know, turn the pot. It's just like, I want me to come up with this every day.
All day, every day. Somebody else can do that for me.
Y'all want me to do this 3 times a day? 7 days? Bruh, you know how many hours it took to make this video? It's 30 seconds long. Do you know I spent 6 hours making this shit? Like, literally, some of these joints, I don't care what other creators did. What? My stuff? Yeah, that stuff takes time.
I hear that. Do you know what? We're gonna have like a little marketing session after this. Well, once I get through my questions, because I've got 2 sides which I want to go through, but we're gonna have a little marketing side. So I'm gonna drop some gems for you, and we'll see what T says. What's he saying? You know what though, bro? I think it's about building a system that allows you to stay in flow. You know what, Tafari? We're definitely gonna talk about that on the marketing side. But let's come back to the podcasting, right? So that's your game. That's what you know. That's your art. Now, say someone was starting out, right? They want to get a podcast going.
Yeah.
Tell us the things that are important for you to have. Like just you on your own, you're a one-man army, and you want to get your podcast going. What are the things that you would say to that person? These are the things you need without me, and you will be on the point where your podcast can start moving forward.
Okay. I don't know exactly how many there are, so we're gonna count as we go, but it's probably, I think it's less than 10. So you need a message or a direction, right? You don't have to have 500 topics blocked out, but if you're a credit specialist and your podcast is gonna be about credit, every episode you're gonna talk about credit, right? So your show is about credit. If your show is about how funny your family is, every episode is a different conversation with one of your cousins, or a conversation with yourself where you're talking anecdotally about your family. So a topic or a message, right? That's one. 2, we're going to dispel all of these technological errors and myths right now. If you are watching this right now, if you're watching me talk right now, you are holding a podcast studio in your freaking hand right now. Right?
Let's go.
If you are an entrepreneur, you probably got 2 phones, which means you have 2 podcast studios in your possession.
Let's go.
If you don't know how to manipulate video editing and all that, cool. Don't even sweat it. There's plenty of podcasts that are out there right now that are some of the jankiest looking stuff I've ever seen in my life. But the content is valuable, and that's what's important. So you can use Instagram Live. If you have enough followers, you can use TikTok Live. YouTube, you can go live now. You can record your videos on your phone in camera mode. If you want to be better for YouTube, turn it 90 degrees and get that landscape. If you don't care about YouTube, you want to be more mobile friendly, you do it in portrait, right? Up and down. And record whatever it is you're going to say. Hit start. Hi, my name is fill in the blank. This is the show where I talk about fill in the blank. Don't worry about the name of the show yet. I just gave you the main script to start every episode. Hi, I'm Big Moves, and we're going to talk about podcasting. Boom, there's the introduction. Even if you don't know the name of your joint yet, there's the introduction, right? So you're going to record your thing, and then you're going to take that video, that finished file. If you went live, you're going to download it from the app where you went live from. If you're doing it straight on YouTube, you're already there. If you're recording it separately, you're going to take that finished video, you're going to upload it to YouTube. But the same way that you would upload to Instagram or any other app, you're going to upload that video file, give it a name, right? Put a title on it. If you talked about how to tie your shoes, you say how to tie your shoes with Big Move, right? Whatever it is you remember talking about, make that the name of the episode for now. You can go back and edit episode titles later as many times as you need to.
Dope.
Put in the description, we talked about how to tie your shoes. If you got links, put them in there. If you don't, it's cool. Hit post. Your podcast is now published.
The end.
You want to get more advanced? InShot for chopping up the clips into smaller pieces. Canva and InShot for creating the graphics that you put on Instagram and be like, hey, look at this, right? Posting it to audio platforms. Buzzsprout is what I use. If you're paying me to do it, your podcast is on Buzzsprout right now, right? And that's how we publish it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Pandora, you name it. If they got podcasts, it goes from me to Buzzsprout to them. Buzzsprout, you can pull audiograms, like the little joint with the waveforms jumping up and down. You can do that from the website. You can toggle on and off what platforms you're available on. You can even take a video file and upload it straight to Buzzsprout. You don't have to create a separate audio file. And it's free to start, 2 hours a month for free.
Do you know what? I did not know that about Buzzsprout. I didn't know you could put video on there and then they could take out the audio. That is dope.
So as long as it's a MP4 or MOV, which if you're recording on your phone or your Mac or your Windows laptop or your tablet, it's going to be one of those 2 formats. They will extract the audio on their own. Yep. And they've even got audio processing software in their thing if you're paying for a subscription where they'll do all the cleanup and stuff for you. So if you can't afford or are not ready to pay a person, a who, to handle your editing and engineering, Buzzsprout does offer some stuff, and it's not bad. It's a good little cleanup to get some of the gank out of raw recording.
That is dope. There you have it, folks. A 5-minute masterclass on you being able to start your podcast today, right here, right now. All you need is this, you know. And I'll say Android because I'm team Android. I know some iPhone people are gonna start.
I used to be there. I got tired of people talking about my text being green.
You know what? Even before I finish, the iPhoneers have begun, you know. But it's cool. It's cool. Anyways, get your phone, get Buzzsprout, film yourself, upload it to YouTube, then put it on Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout will send it out to everyone else, and you're good to go. As simple as that. That would take you from point A to point B, even point C, I would say. You know, put your descriptions, put your title, you're good to go.
That is everything up to creating those smaller pieces that you want to repurpose. That's everything up to that point.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the titles. Don't worry about the fancy transitions and all that. Like, you can learn that stuff later from YouTube University. You don't have to find a me to learn how to do that stuff. If you want to do it at a higher level and you want to look like something, you either have to find a me or you have to invest in the technology to be able to do it yourself, because the stuff ain't free. But it's there. You know, it's not difficult if you want to learn it.
If you want to learn it, that is true. A lot. Sometimes it might be a case of people aren't as interested to learn. It's not interested. They don't have the resources to go and learn. And when I say resources, I mean they haven't allocated time to just focus on, I need to figure this stuff out. And then when I figure this stuff out, I would then take it. And I'll say that for myself, because before, like, I started my podcast, the very first one, in 2017. I had the idea for a podcast in like 2012, 2013, right? Then started to 2017. A couple of my friends, 3 of us, were just talking about stuff. And then my business podcast, I was like, this was in 2019. And that first video, like, everything's going to be released end of this month. That first video was so janky, like so ghetto, in my opinion. Like, now, dude, you got to do what you got to do. Like, now we got the lights, we got this equipment, we got that. So now it looks a little bit, you know, we even got the lapel mic and a bunch of different things. But that very first video, and I actually say it in the video, like, we don't have a name for the show. We don't have this. We don't have that, but we're just going to do it. So I say that for anyone who's listening, just start. You don't need to perfect it, you know.
All right. So whether you're a business owner providing a service or you're an e-commerce business with products, you know you need a website. You're a business owner, which means your website is an asset that's meant to work for you round the clock, no lunch breaks. It should position you as the expert, attract the right type of customers, and have a system in place for those potential customers to book you for appointments, pay you for consultations and other services, as well as buy your products on your website. And even when someone doesn't pay you right there and then, it should have a follow-up system in place that allows you to collect that lead and then convert that lead later on down the line. And all of this needs to happen automatically in the background. Now, high performance businesses are the type of clients who tend to need these solutions, and they're the type of clients we already work with. So if you're in the 5-figure range, or you're already doing 6 to 7 figures, but you know you're not yet taking full advantage of the internet in the way that's right for your particular business, the solution is this. You need a high-performance client attraction website for your high-performance business, one that's custom-made to work for you 24/7, whilst you focus on growing and scaling your business. So go to www.oyemadeit.com/performance, select the option for web design. Alternatively, you can go and click the link in the description, or there should be a link in my bio on Instagram. Remember, this is not for everyone. This is for businesses who are looking to level up, scale up their business, and stop leaving money on the table. We work with businesses that are a right fit and those that we believe we can help achieve their business and financial goals. So that's oyemadeit.com, oyemadeit.com/performance. Or there should be a link in the description below, or there's the link in my bio on Instagram. We look forward to hearing from you and working with you. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Progress over perfection.
Not at all. One of the many nicknames I have amongst my entrepreneurial social circles, they call me the business bully because I'm mean to everybody. I keep it a little too funky. And so one of the bully statements that I give very often when it comes to podcasting, I say, people don't know you yet. They don't care. They're not listening. Don't nobody know who you are. Stop worrying about what it looks like. Like, yo, that's not very inspiring. It's like, no, that's real. Like,
it's the
when
truth.
did you find out about the Social Proof Podcast? It's the easiest example. Like, when did you find out about the Social Proof Podcast? Most folks say 2020. It's like, you do know he was out for 2 years before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a successful guy. He was
exactly
like he had good money and was very successful in his space when he started. And you didn't find out about it till 2 years later. So what makes you think that your 500 follower having self is about to explode tomorrow because you made it look great?
Dude,
put it out there, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, and Tafari is here. Tafari can attest to this. We went to EYL when they came to London, right? They came to London in February. The queue was crazy. It looked like there were 5,000 people who were there for a location that could only hold 300 people.
Yeah, I remember seeing active videos like.
Exactly. Tafari will attest to this. There were people there who just learned about EYL that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are you doing here? Why are you here taking up my space? You should not be here. But they learned about EYL that day. Wow, that's right. And there's still people who are learning about EYL right now. There's still people who are learning about Dave and Social Proof right now.
Absolutely.
Like, this is the first time they've ever heard of it, so
absolutely. Listen, those podcasts and those organizations that we're holding in that regard right now, those are going to be the Fox News, not the Fox News, the Foxes, the NBCs, the CBSs, the BETs, the UPNs of 20 years from now. Like, we're gonna look back and be like, yo, why does EYL is everywhere? There's 5,000 shows from EYL. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're well-established programs right now, but those programs expand into networks.
Exactly.
And if you don't think that's what's going to happen, you're wilding. So it's like those networks, like right. We have Fox, right? But Fox has The Simpsons. Fox has, Family Guy. And we go on and on about, NBC has Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Criminal Intent, Law and Order, and Chicago Fire, and Chicago Med. It's like, they have all of these different programs within these networks. So everybody's worried about trying to make their thing look like Dave, look like EYL. Yo, EYL still uses Zoom, bro.
This is true, actually.
It's not an inferior product by no stretch of the imagination, but they are not overcomplicated.
They're not overcomplicated. They're like, yo, let's keep this simple.
They're using their phones.
Like, this is what works.
Do not get it twisted. These cats is millionaires. And this still using their phones. What makes you think you special? You got a job. They don't have jobs. You got a job. And you tripping because you don't have the $7,000 camera.
Neither of them actually have the 7,000 camera, that's true.
Like, they have it for when they go on the road to make the curated marketing stuff because it's a commercial. The show is shot in one of them living rooms. Shotty go over to Troy House, they have dinner, and then they go shoot the show.
Keep it simple.
When they do Market Mondays, half the time Ian is sitting against his bedroom wall, like in one little spot. Got the walls,
Yeah, right.
Who do you think you are?
You know what? I concur, and I'll say this to everyone listening: progress over perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect to start, but it has to start to get perfect.
Absolutely.
So just put it out there. If you've got a podcast that you've been thinking about, if you've got a show, if you've got a business, whatever it is, don't feel like it has to be perfect before you start. Yes, you can have strategy. Yes, you can have a plan, but put that first foot forward and take that first step and then move. And you keep moving. And slowly you start jogging, and slowly you start running, and slowly you flying, And then people are like, yo, you know what? In fact, I always use this example. I'm one of the biggest Jigga fans, but I heard Jigga, but I found Jigga properly in 98, Hard Knock Life, Volume 2.
Wow. Okay, yeah. You know what? That's the first rap album I ever bought.
That you feel me?
I'm
right?
not a Jigga fan like that, but that is actually literally
that's the first one you got.
Album I ever purchased.
See, I heard that and I was like, this homie is fire. What else has he got? And then I went back. 96, 97. Okay. Reasonable Doubt. Volume 1. Okay, let's go. What else has he got? Then I went back to 94. He came up with Jaz-O. Okay, Hawaiian Sophie. Okay, when Jigga used to rap fast. Okay, Dead Presidents 1. Okay, And then I continued with them. There's some people that learn about Jigga probably on Blueprint. Then they went all the way back.
This folk who found out about Jay-Z is Blueprint 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up. So everyone, I'm saying this. If you, whatever it is you want to start, if you've got a dream, just do it, and you figure it out along the way, And that's a fact. It doesn't have to be perfect.
About episode 1, you're gonna laugh at yourself if you make it to episode 89, make it episode 250, episode 500. You're gonna look back at how you was behaving at episode 1, like, what was I tripping about? Just do it, bro.
Just do it. Just do it. That's
don't
what's
nobody
up.
care. Like, they're gonna care. They don't care right now. Right now is the perfect time. Like, excuse my French, but this is the perfect situation to put out the shittiest content you got. Because nobody's watching. The worst you got, the most awful thing, just throw it out there, bro. I hate half the stuff I put out. Not because I don't think it's like worthwhile. It's like I'm looking at it like, why did I make this? Right? Like by the time I finish editing it, it's like I don't love this theme anymore. But then the views keep going.
Yep.
The
audience loves it. The audience loves it.
So
that's what's up,
throw
man.
It out there, bro. It's spaghetti. Throw it at the wall, and if it sticks, it sticks.
Or the other option, like we said earlier, same way you learned about your trade. If you've got someone else who's actually already doing it and they can be a mentor to you, pay them and let them teach you how they got from their first step to the step that they are at. So there are two options. You could do it you perfect as you go along, and then you could do it the other way where someone's already done it and then they can teach you. Or you could do both. You do it yourself up to a point, and then you can pay someone to come in and polish it up and take you further ahead, But why, before I go into this question, Inero, don't make me block you with all your...
Oh, he's here? Yo, I can't see none of the comments. My joke.
Oh, you can't see the comments? Yeah, Inero's here. He's saying he's throwing shots at Jigga, but we're going to excuse him and just move him to the left for a quick second.
Man, people from Florida can't say nothing about no rappers.
Shots fired. Shots fired. I thought...
And I like Rick Ross.
Oh, man. I was going to throw a shot at Inero, but I'm not. Inero's my guy, so let's move back. Now, why should we actually have a podcast?
All right, so I'm going to make the assumption that most of the audience is somewhere in the entrepreneur space. Whether you own your own business, you are at the head of a business, you are developing a product, you're a single product turning into business, whatever, right? You have something to market. Right? That's the assumption I'm going to make. A podcast is like a one-step click funnel. So instead of having to write an email, make a video, come up with a theme, change costumes, write a script, partner with other content creators, whatever, to make an ad, right? You pick a subject, right? So let's use podcasting, right? Today I'm gonna talk about, I don't know, 5 mistakes that all podcasters do. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna talk about how much time got wasted looking at equipment, how much money got wasted on equipment, how much time and money was spent on who's that I wasn't ready for, right? All that tying back to the theme of I got everything I need right now.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously this is kind of a curated idea, but I could have come up with that on the fly, right? Like in the recording, I'm just talking. I hit go and it's like, I don't know what to talk about. You know what? I'm going to talk about podcasts. And I just kind of rant for 10 minutes and stuff comes out. Go back and listen to it. And that's how I know what I want to make the name of the episode topic of the episode. Having that completed item, right? So using podcasting as the framework. Episode 1, we talked about 5 mistakes. Episode 2, we talked about 10 ways to be successful. Episode 3, we talked about my worst recording ever. Episode 4, we talked about why it's important to remember to make backups, because that one time I recorded something, forgot to save it, totally deleted the whole thing and ruined a perfectly good episode, right? And so on, right? We got episode on episode on episode. In each one, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, right? And in the engineering space, we have what we call the roll, right? The roll is the strip, right? Whether it's the video or the audio, right? That file.
Yeah.
Pre-roll, that's the beginning. Mid-roll, somewhere in the middle. Post-roll, somewhere at the end. Pre, middle, post, right? In those 3 places, and there can be multiple mid-roll places, we can place advertisements. Those advertisements can be fully curated. Hey, I'm Jim. Do you brush your teeth every day? Right? Or they could be just a switch in the conversation for a moment where you're talking about one specific thing that gets repeated and draws somebody to something else. Hey, are you're listening to this episode, we talking about podcasting. If you need help with your podcasting, go to iambigmoves.com. If you don't know what else to say, I can say that much, right? I got my domain, so I can say, go to this website.
Yep.
And I have a website set up with, even if it's just like a click automatic email list or a Google form email list. I don't have a whole presentation. I don't have a bunch of products ready to sell, but I have something where I can get your email and we can get in contact and talk about what you need help with. So in those pre, mid, posts, I drop that audio clip or that video clip of me saying, hey, you having trouble with your podcast? Since we're talking about podcasting, why don't you go to iambigmoves.com and I can help you out, right? Boom, done. That's the ad. Every time I have something that I want to sell to somebody, I put it in one of those pre, mid, or post places. I don't have to remember to make a new thing. I make that one clip and just put it on every episode. If you're using a website like Buzzsprout or you're partnered with a production company like Big Move Studios, we will take care of all that for you. So all we got to do is copy and paste and put that piece in there. So every single time someone listens to your show, they also hear that you've got more than just a show. If you do interviews, it's where you can have your guests, they can plug their business, like how Dave will randomly be like, hey, can my people get a discount? Enter coupon code socialproof, right? Or socialproof.theirwebsite.com, right? He's always just got it worked out that way, right? It's marketing. It's free reciprocated marketing. You might have to pay some money to set up the website, you might have to pay some money to actually operate the distribution channel.
Yeah.
But relatively speaking, it's free marketing because you're talking about whatever it is you're already an expert on. I know way too much about this, so I'm just going to go and talk about it for a while. I put it out there. You like what I talk about because I am an expert. And now you want to know more. Now you want to do more. Link in bio.
And that's that.
I'm talking to an expert. The expert knows a lot of stuff. Hey, do you love what he's talking about? Do you want to talk to him about how to do more? Link in bio. And if you're good at it, you make it interesting and conversational, like the Social Proof Podcast, or
right here on Trust Thyself. That's what's up. And to add to what you said, the era that we're in, people, is the era of people knowing, liking, and trusting you. We're in Web 2.0, about to get into Web 3.0. Mm-hmm. The era of just put it on TV and people would trust it because it's on TV, that part of marketing is out the window. Just because you put it on TV doesn't necessarily mean that, especially our generation, I'm like, who's this guy? Or who's this person? We don't trust you, you know?
That's right.
So when people know, like, and trust you, that comes from them actually understanding who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what your cadence is, what your body language is, how you sound like, things you like, the jokes you make, the banter you make, like all these things are the elements that make people know, like, and trust you. And that comes around when people can actually hear you or watch you. Hence, having a podcast helps to amplify that situation and get people to know, like, and trust you faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said about having the commercials in between, because when I first did episode 1, 2, and 3, we didn't have that. We didn't have any commercials or anything like that. And I actually say this, but moving forward, we got the commercials put together. So now we have one at the start, we have one in the middle, and we have one at the end, all promoting the stuff that we do and what we're able to provide as services. And that, people, you put that on YouTube, where YouTube has an organic reach. You put it on TikTok, where it has an organic reach. You put it on, say, Instagram Reels, which still has organic reach. And then that is doing your marketing for you. And people are watching your stuff. And then in between, they see that commercial. Oh, these guys do web design, high performance websites. What is that? Never heard of that before. Yep. Let's see what else he has to talk about. Oh, do you know what? I remember he said he did high performance website. When I watch his next episode, I need a website now. Let me get in touch. I liked his first episode. I like his second episode. He seems funny. He's talking about this other guy who seems cool as well. They seem like the type of people I want to work with. Let me get in touch. And that's just from having something doing the work for you. So having those commercials with your podcast enables you and amplifies your personal brand for people to know, like, and trust you faster. And then at that point, especially if you've been giving value to people, they will then be more convinced and more encouraged to actually spend that paper with you. So the importance of having a podcast, especially now when we're still at the starting era or the starting end of it, is an amazing thing. So yeah, shout out to my man Big Moves, making the big moves. And Ariel has just joined us. Ariel Young is in the building. You know?
Another
podcaster, the Work and Play podcast with Ariel Young.
Yo, the beauty of Real Truth, the podcast, if you're executing it well, you don't have to be tremendous at it, you just have to be pretty good at it. As an entrepreneur, every podcast episode is a commercial. You have something you want to talk about, you want to talk about it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever. There's your commercial. And if you did a good job with that commercial, there's all your content. So now you also don't have to necessarily come up with thematic content to put onto your Instagram, your TikTok, your Reels, your YouTube Shorts, whatever. You're just taking pieces of that 45 minutes that you already recorded and just go, well, this is a good piece. Boop. This is a good
Put
piece.
that in. Boop. And it's all linking back.
Long ones. And if you do one episode a week and you do 45 minutes an episode, find a total of 8 minutes worth of content. That's eight different pieces, right? 1 minute each, right? Because TikTok and Reels and Shorts is all under 60 seconds.
Yep.
So that's 8 different pieces you can post. That's one a day, and whatever day is your high traffic day. So if you publish the new episodes on Monday, you do 2 on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
There's your 8 pieces. Do it every week if you don't have to come up with anything else. Yes, I know I just gave myself a formula to do it, and I know that I'm not executing it, and you still can't beat me in a fight. But now, I say all this because that is literally what I am doing right now for my podcast. I stopped trying to come up with thematic content, and I'm just powering through my war chest of recorded episodes and turning it into a war chest of curated content. And as the episodes come out, you ain't gonna see me. You're just gonna see audio clips.
That's what's up. And the beautiful thing about that is, say for instance, one of those clips does go viral, in the same exact way that we use the example of Jigga, people come back like, what else has he got? What else has she got? Yep. Let's see what else they got. And then they see this, they see the other thing, they see the other thing. Yo, I want to get whatever this person is doing because it can help me in whatever it is I'm trying to move forward with. So if I see your podcast post about, or one of your clips about how to ensure your podcast doesn't make these mistakes, and that goes viral. And I come back to see the tools you talked about, the equipment you need, how to make your voice sound this, how to make the decimal sound that. I'm like, yo, this guy must know what he's talking about, Well, let me get in touch. And obviously the commercials are in there. So I listen to the commercial that, yep, let me pay this guy because I know you now. I like you a bit. And now I kind of trust you.
Right. You learned
enough,
something.
I learned something enough to be like, yeah, I think this guy knows what he's talking about. So that is the power of having your podcast, folks.
That's a fact.
And I think this is an interesting point now for us to segue into the marketing side of things. What did you say, Big Moves?
I can give you about 5 minutes. I got to cook dinner. We haven't jerked chicken
that's
tonight.
true. You got to roll. So you said earlier, before we let you go, you said earlier that the marketing side of things is where you're struggling at. Give me one thing or tell me one thing you're trying to achieve, and let's work out a play to make that happen.
So it's funny that you say that, right? So what I'm working towards is just pushing people to the podcast, right? I have stopped trying to show folks how smart I am when it comes to the engineering. I do have a marketing plan, and I have no problem sharing that with you in a second. But I've stopped with social media. What am I going to do? What I'm going to do is get my podcast, chew through my editing work with my own project more, and I have a different operating procedure so that I can pull more pieces of content from it, right? So for every episode I finish, I pull 4 or 5 different clips and have them ready to go, so that I don't have to think about what to post. Like, well, today's Tuesday. What episode did I post? Okay, how many clips have I posted? Next clip, right? Clip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Post to clip 1. Time for clip 2. Tomorrow I'll post clip 3. You know what I mean? So that I can consistently post 1 a day. I hear people on the multiples a day. My audience ain't I'm not there yet, so I ain't beat for it. You know what I mean? When I see the algorithm begging me for more, I'll give it more, but I ain't there, so I ain't tripping on it right now. So that's how I am building my marketing basis. I'm just focusing on pushing the podcast more because I don't market the podcast, right? If you know I have one, then you listen to it. If you know that I'm in the podcast space, you might assume that I have one and you might have found it. You click my website, it's there. You can't miss it. But what I don't do is just promote. Yo, go listen to my podcast. Yo, go check out my podcast. Yo, I got a podcast. Go listen to it. So it's funny that we're talking about what am I doing, right, to bring more attention to my podcast.
Yeah.
I got merch.
Okay.
I'm not selling it yet, but I am rocking it. And the reason why I got this merch is because I can't forget to promote myself every time I put it on. I think it's going to look backwards in the camera, but I'm going to show you. So the shirt actually says, "Are you following the Big Moves podcast?" And then I got a QR code with a link to the podcast right there on the shirt.
That is dope.
So I told myself every time I show up online, anytime I'm showing my face, if I'm going out and I'm not going out privately, like on grocery shopping, if we going to the mall, if we going out to eat, we going bowling or something, this going to be the uniform from now on. So I don't forget to just, you know what I mean? Even if I don't talk, if you say like, what does this shirt say? Well,
you got it right there.
Conversation started on my check.
Do you know what? It's crazy you say that because it's the exact same thing with this tee I'm wearing where it says Techpreneur, and on the back it says we make high performance websites for high performance businesses, and there's this QR code for you to scan. It's crazy that we're both rocking.
I was so prepared for this conversation. Switch, let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's go. So I like that. So you're using the merch. You're pushing people to the. Well, you're not necessarily promoting the podcast yet, but that is something you are going to be doing. And what is one particular marketing, I guess, goal you're trying to achieve?
More foot traffic to the website. Ultimately, like pushing people from the podcast to the website, because the website is where the checkout sections are.
I saw
that's
that.
Where you can book a call, you can send a message. If you know you're ready to get busy because you know what you're looking for, you can click, you can pay, and we can get going. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
The website's full service for it.
That's what's up. One thing which we're using when we drop ours is we're actually using the podcast as lead magnets. So, and this is to actually collect the leads of people who want to listen. So it might be a clip like this, right? And it goes, to see the rest of this clip, blah, 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 blah. Like we'll take the most interesting bit. To see the rest of it, click to see. And in between that, name, phone number, email, to then see the rest of it and see something else. So it might be something that isn't actually just available on YouTube. It might be like a behind the scenes version. And then for you to see that, you have to put your name, phone number, and email. Then you get to see that.
There you go.
That way, we're collecting the leads for people who are actually interested in the podcast. And that's just the podcast play on its own. So that's one play that you can also run if you're also trying to create. The thing is, everything is a presentation online, and collecting leads is the most important thing to that presentation, because whatever you're going to do with those leads is another presentation. So that is just one way that I said I'm gonna drop for the folks out there. And before we let you go, the other thing when you said about you don't, even in your thing, you're not trying to let people know how smart you are. That is crucial, because with us, Breaking Bread, what up, sir? You good? That is crucial, because with us, we don't actually do podcasts about what we do, as in we make high performance websites.
That's a very true statement.
We don't do that. We do podcasts about business, growth, mindset, entrepreneurship, all that sort of stuff, because that is actually the sexy part. If I said like we've got about 6 people on, we've had like 10, 15. If I actually did a show and we're like, oh, so to create your logo, we need to do this, this, and this, and this, and then we need to change this to HTML5, and then we need to put that onto your website, and then we need to go to the CSS. No one's gonna, like, after the first 10 seconds, I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna come back, or this ain't for me,
It happens every time I go live, and I'm just like, I got the camera on my computer. It's like, all right, I'm about to edit this episode. You're about to watch me edit this episode. No, they're not.
They really ain't. And the key here is you need to sexify whatever it is your thing is, and then you can sprinkle it in between. So this nowhere in this podcast episode have we talked about how to create a website, but yet we sprinkled that in the conversation where it was relevant. 100%. We sprinkled the fact that you know how to get people's audio up, which is relevant. We sprinkled the fact that you know how to set people's podcasts up, which is relevant. So this is the other thing, folks. When you want to do something, don't feel like it is that same thing your podcast has to be about. Your podcast can be totally different, but you can still show the fact that you have value in a particular service or service that you have to offer throughout the podcast by sprinkling it, by using the commercials, anything else throughout the conversation, and it will flow naturally. People will ask you questions in the comments, people will ask you DMs, and those will all be opportunities. So with that said, Big Moves, this was a pleasure having you on here, sir. Tell the folks how they can find you so that when they want to get that podcast to the level that it should be on, you're the guy for them to call.
No doubt. So if you're looking for me, you can find me at I Am Big Moves on any social media platform that you use. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, even Telegram at I Am Big Moves. If you are looking to get your website going, you're ready to get your podcast going. Websites is for T's thoughts. You're ready to get your podcast going. You can go to iambigmoves.com or bigmoves.studio. It'll redirect you to the same space, so it doesn't matter which one you plug in. And you're going to look for the little button that says consultation. For the consultation, we'll talk about it. If you know what you need is podcast editing, podcast production, or publishing, and you're just ready to move forward, bigmoves.studio, scroll to the bottom and click the necessary button.
That's what's up. And there you have it, folks. Big Moves. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you, brother.
Tabitha is asking, Tabby, I didn't even know you were in here. Shout out to my homegirl, TJ. She's in the building. Tabitha, his actual name? Because I only learned that today. His real name is Matt.
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm Matt.
I learned that today. You know, I've always known him as Big Moves, but his real name is actually Matt. So I am Big Moves or Matt, or jump in his DMs and get this party popping. You know,
if you're not sure what to do, any of what I said is confusing, just shoot me a DM. Yo, question. I'm not selfish.
That's what's up. Big Moves, it's been a pleasure. Everyone who's in here, it's been a pleasure having you on, and thank you for rocking with us from beginning to end.
Yes, thank you, brother. I appreciate your time.
We appreciate you as a guest on here, sir. Answering the questions, and dropping all the gems. We appreciate you, folks. Until the next one, thank you all for being here and rocking with us. This has been another episode of Trust Thyself, the show where we talk about people who go from being the underdog to the heroes in their own stories. Until the next time, trust thyself, yo.